Make some noise for your Guerrilla Press hosts, EJ, Cameron, and Nick Hausman. Folks who are not seeing single, it's just me tonight. Woo! How's everybody doing? Good. All right, sorry folks, but not sorry. My name is EJ Cameron. Normally Nick Hausman is here with me. He is under the weather. Aww. But don't you worry, because we have a super awesome guest with us here tonight. Tonight, our very special guest running for Illinois 7th District, right? 7th District.
That's right.
Jazmin Robinson.
Hello.
Did everybody have a good time watching the Super Bowl? Yeah. Did anybody make, oh no. Did you make any money? You lose money? No. Good, you're better for it. Oh, you said net worth zero?
Net worth zero.
Net worth zero. Okay, good.
Hey,
Sport betting is bad. Sport betting is bad. But as I said, we have our guest, my guest right here, and good friend, Jazmin Robinson. Jazmin, how are you?
I'm doing good. Oh no. Oh, there we go. I'm being good. I was just throwing shade for people who didn't know how to use the mic, and here I am.
I know, right before we got here, she was like, you know, people don't know how to turn on the mic. It's like, oh.
Karma at me. That's what I get for talking shit.
No. So as I said earlier, you're running for Illinois 7th Congressional District.
That is right, yeah.
Now, what's fun and crazy to me, I guess, is I know you through improv.
Mm-hmm.
How does one become an improviser and then get into politics?
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of comedians actually go into like politics in some shape, way, or form. Like John Oliver, who's still doing comedy, but it's political comedy.
Al Franken.
Yeah.
Gutfeld. No.
And
Yes. Boo that man.
so I like a lot of people who are running for office for the first time. I saw what was happening with my government and how they were like basically eroding the path for anyone to have success and equal opportunity. And I was like, I'm so done with this. And I'm also like, a lot of what I saw within the politics is like slogans like Medicare for all, but like no one has a strategy or a plan. And I'm like, we need to do better, y'all. We gotta have strategy.
Yeah, because if not, it's just lip service.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Or politicking, as I say. It's like, I will do this for you. Or if you vote for me, everybody gets a free pizza party, but nobody has a plan for the actual.
Exactly.
So I understand that you have a plan.
I do.
And that is the Heel Act, right?
Yes.
So what is that? You're just going to be buying women a bunch of shoes around town, some nice heels?
Exactly.
Is that the heel? Okay.
Push them down with the heel.
Okay.
No, actually, it's a bipartisan policy. So a little bit about me, outside of comedy, my 9 to 5 is in human resources. And I'm not saying HR is perfect. I know they can be corrupt as well, friends. But my specific role is building, designing, and managing employee benefits and systems. So that's healthcare, pay, compensation, HRIS, like a lot of this, and I help people navigate the system as well. And so I wasn't initially going to run for office. I was going to just help a campaign. But when I saw other like websites, I was like, none of you guys have a plan. And I was like, I can't really throw shade at them. So let me figure out if I can do this.
Yeah, if you're not doing it, then how can you do it? And when did that like come to you? You're like, okay, I'm Jazz, I got to do this.
After the big, beautiful bill passed, because they said 50,000 people were going to die because they couldn't afford healthcare. And it was from preventative care. I was like, there's no way, because I build healthcare policies nationally and globally. So I see how other countries use their tax dollars to provide free, high quality healthcare to their citizens, and also education, which leads to innovation. So I was like, let me do this. And so I build policies for a living. I literally do the work Congress is supposed to do, but in the private sector. So I wrote the policy, and it's the HEAL Act. It provides universal, free, high quality healthcare. That includes elder care and home visits, and then education. So that's even childcare, public colleges and trade schools, access to our government, which is banning PACs and lobbyists and moving to publicly funded elections, because PACs and lobbyists, that's how they buy your Congress rep. Like all of our Congress representatives, for the most part, the majority of them, they're bought by the 1%, the top 10%, like special interest groups. So if you remove that, we actually get our democracy back. And then access to fair markets by bringing down monopolies, because they raise costs for all of us. And they're just bad. And then the living wage, but with friends for small businesses. And we literally can pay for this all by just going back to the fair tax plan we had under Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's it.
You got a bit FDR fan.
It's so simple. It's so simple that it drives me insane.
Why do you think, okay, I feel the same because I know the bit that I know about politics. I'm like, this should be simple. Why do you think it is not simple or being done in the simplest way?
Yeah, because they've been bought. Robin Williams, RIP friend, he had a great saying. He said politicians should wear the people who donate to their campaign, like their sponsors, like a NASCAR driver wears them, so that you know who owns them. And that's true because these past lobbyists and special interest groups are the 1%. They finance or even run a candidate's entire campaign. And the only reason they got elected is because they had enough money to basically hire a bunch of volunteers and canvassers to go out there and infiltrate like the district with name recognition. They say, he's a nice guy, he's my friend, he's trustworthy, but they don't tell you the policies, right? Mm-hmm. And it's gotten so worse because there's like this parasocial relationship people have now.
Yep.
And it's like, back in the 70s, it wasn't like that. People would look at the policies, they would look at the person a little bit, but they would look at the policies. They even split the ticket. Like they would vote for a Republican president, but then they would vote for Democrats in Congress. So it's like, now it's just like down the ticket. And it's like, because people have become like obsessed with their politics in a way that like you're obsessed with, like you're a Bears fan, you're a Packers fan, they can do no wrong. And it's like, no, these people are not our friends.
I feel the same way. I was like, these politicians ain't our friends.
No.
The thing that I always find interesting too, just going off of that. Oh no, before I lose it. Oh no.
What?
Yes, they're being bought out. They're doing all those things. Mm-hmm. Oh no. I got too excited. I was like, say what you were just saying again, WQ.
Oh yeah, they just like, they finance the entire campaign and then they get elected that way, right? Mm-hmm. And so when they're in office, the only reason they got there was because of the donors, not the voters voted for them, but it was the donors that got them there. So now they have to make sure that they make their donors happy by passing laws that give them huge tax cuts. That's why you see these tax cuts for yachts and stuff. And then if the voter is like, actually this politician sucks, we're gonna replace them, and they do, that is not them getting fired, because guess what? Their donors hire them as lobbyists and they get paid like $1 million a year. Yeah, it's insane. And if that candidate who basically won because of their donors grows a conscience and is like, I'm actually gonna help my voters, then the donors are just gonna primary them and put another puppet in place. So this is the level of corruption. And it's even worse, like, say you have me, say I get elected, right? Mm-hmm. And
which is what we're all hoping for.
So once you get elected, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, how laws are made is that you're assigned a committee, right? And that's where they write the laws, they debate them, they go through it. That's them drafting the laws in the committee. And the most powerful position in committee is the chair. They can block a law, they can block everything, or they can put things forward. And in order to get on a committee, what the rules are in the House that the Democrats and Republicans made was you have to pay committee dues or party dues, which is you have to give your party money in order to be assigned to a committee. How much money? It depends on where you want to go, but it's like $1 million.
So it's like a bad improv team. It's pay to play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
It's legalized blackmail.
Oh.
It truly is.
Okay, so if you don't pay for it, then it's just like, we can't help you. You can't be.
You're not going to be on a committee. You're not going to get, that's it. And some people don't have to do it. Like AOC, she gets a ton of individual donations. So she's like, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. Or there's a Republican, Thomas Massey. He's like, I'm not doing this either. And Ro Khan, I think AOC and some other true progressives are like, they're trying to build a coalition to ban this because it's a rule that they made up in the House.
Okay. Well, I know you're talking about Republicans just now, and you said this is a bipartisan bill.
Yeah.
You talked about this before, that people complain that you're being bipartisan.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah. So it's bipartisan because the majority of Americans want this. Mm-hmm. And fun fact, 72% of Americans want campaign finance reform. That's 71% Republicans, 76% Democrats. It doesn't happen because of the donors. And I think what it is like, back in the day, it wasn't like in the like 70s, it wasn't like Republicans are evil and Democrats are good. It was like, okay, which one has good policies? And now, because of the parasocial and stuff like that, and like how much people are using politics as their identity, they're like, we can never work with a Republican. I was like, no, you can. And the other thing is like, people change.
Yeah.
People change. Like I grew up in Plainfield in Chicago. So we lived in Marquette Park, which is the south side of Chicago. It's and almost the tip of the 7th District. And then there was a lot of gang violence, right? Because it got historically redlined. It wasn't invested in. So my mom moved just to Plainfield. Mm-hmm. And they were really racist. And like my brothers, they went to high school. The first year they went to high school, the students for Halloween dressed up as a KKK. Like, this is how racist, it was really racist, but I had to be in those spaces. And once people started like talking to me and seeing me, they were like, oh, you're okay. So like people-
You're one of the good ones.
Yeah, and it's intergroup contact theory. It's a cycle, it's actually proven by science.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to stop saying bipartisan is wrong, because the reason that Congress is gridlocked is because nobody wants to work together. They rather fight each other, and instead of doing the work, and the only people it hurts are the voters.
Mm-hmm. And then, are you sure it was a KKK? They weren't dressed up as ghosts?
I'm positive.
Okay, just making sure. A ghost with extra stars, you just got to double check that word. No, I remember what I was saying. The parasocial of it all. Yeah. We're in a place now where everybody picks their side, and there's this room of like, instead of being wrong and okay with being wrong and admitting that they're wrong, or it's like, it's okay to learn something different. Yeah. People stand 10 toes in their bullshit, and it's like, well, I'll make an excuse for this person now, or Obama wore a tan suit, he's the devil, but then, you know, this guy can get married 18 times.
Yeah, he's on the Epstein files, but it's okay.
But it's okay, or he can make AI friggin' images. And then it's like, no, they're the kings of the jungle. Like, stop it. Why? No. I think, what happened? I blame No Child Left Behind.
That could be it. I mean, that's why they're attacking the education system right now. Mm-hmm. Because the less educated your population is, the more likely you can go into a dictatorship or an authoritarianism. So like that is by design.
Yeah.
And I would argue that's probably true.
Yeah, that's how they want it to be. So everybody's just voting for whatever color, like vote blue no matter who.
Yeah, and no, there are progressives out there that they're progressives, they're not. I'm like, you're a moderate. You're a corporate Democrat.
Ooh.
Truly.
Okay, give it up. So you have some views and feelings, like, because I feel that way too. As a black man, in case nobody knew, but just like. You're here in America, you get sent all this lip service.
Yeah.
As a black person, you're like, vote for the Democrats because the other option is they'll kill you.
Yeah.
So just vote for us and we'll give you a stick of gum or you die.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I get some rights? Can I get some health care? Can I get some better pay? And it's like, no, we can't do it. And it's frustrating. Like, why? I mean, yes, they're bought out.
Yeah.
How do we change? I mean, yes, voting and doing aggressive, but how do we fucking change that shit?
I think we have to have those tough conversations within our community, because I think we have to recognize that people don't vote. Like when I was canvassing in North Lawndale, they're like, it doesn't matter, our vote doesn't matter. I mean, kind of, it doesn't, because sure, you get bought out, but only 14% of my district votes in the primary. The primary is the election. Nationally, only 20% of people vote in the primary. So only 20% of people are determining how our government is run. Look, change is gonna take time, and I know that. And it's like, we all should be, every single person who went out to protest in any protest, are you registered to vote? No, you should be. Are you voting in the primary? No, like, you can literally have a fun time with it too. Like, y'all can look at the ballot and then just go through everybody and just roast them, see what you like about them. Like, and we also have to stop looking towards people who do endorsements, because even those endorsements are backed by the machine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, here's this billionaire that I like. My favorite rapper endorsed him, so this has to be good. It's like, okay.
Or like, there's like this one thing called APAC Tracker.
I follow them.
Yeah. So you would think, my assumption, right, is APAC Tracker, in order to confirm that a candidate has not taken APAC money, they would review the financials because every candidate has to file their campaign financials with the FEC. And basically they have to tell the FEC the donations that came in, who donated, right? And then also how they spent that money. So we all have to file that. We also, as candidates, need to file our personal financials. So that's our stocks, that's what our salary is, who's paying us, and it's a 2-year look back, right? So I would assume APAC Tracker did that due diligence.
Yeah.
They endorsed one person who hasn't filed anything with the FEC in my race. They haven't filed anything with the FEC, and they haven't filed their personal finances. And also, the last time they ran, they didn't file their personal finances either. They also endorsed 2 other candidates who have not filed their personal finances. Y'all, the rich people hide their money in their stocks. So, and I asked, I was like, I submitted, I was like, hey, can I fill out your endorsement questionnaire? Never heard back from them. They ghosted me. These endorsements truly mean nothing. In my opinion, don't mean anything because I just proved that APAC Tracker, not really reliable.
You heard it here first, y'all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You heard it here first. Before we get into the rest of the tea, because you're giving it up right now.
I'm so done with it. And people, sorry, go ahead. Well, because people are like, you're being mean by criticizing other candidates. And I'm like, these people are not your friends.
No.
They're trying to make it seem like I'm nice, I'm kind. It's like, you know what? You know what I want in Congress? I want a cutthroat strategist who's going to find loopholes to protect the voters and the constituents. That's what I want. I don't want somebody who is like, oh, they make me feel good. It's like, they're not your friends. Like, stop thinking they're your friends.
You mean identity politics don't really work?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
She'll just vote for somebody that looks like me, but Cory Booker.
Oh my Christ. Wait, no. Hakeem Jeffries, like, I mean, he's been bought. Chuck Schumer's been bought. He's been bought. Like, come on.
He's just like, well, I think I'm gonna say something. I always think about him with the baseball bat, just standing there looking like a kid who's waiting for his dad to pick him up. Like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? You're just there sitting and just.
And the other thing is, like, we need to stop judging people on what they tell us, and we need to judge them by their actions and what they show us.
Yeah. Across the board.
Honestly. So yeah. Anyways, you were gonna ask a question. I feel like I interrupted.
Well, I was gonna ask just for the people who wanted to know, where is the 7th district?
Oh my gosh. The 7th? This 7th?
I know where it is, but I wanted you to let this whole full audience
For the
know.
people who don't know, the 7th district. So first of all, if you go on Google Map and you do 7th Congressional District, it'll actually outline it for you. Also on my website, I put a map and shows you at JazminJRobinson.com. That's Jazmin. And it starts with like the Loop, so downtown, the Loop, right? And then it goes all the way across. So it goes part of Humboldt Park, part of Wicker Park, and then it goes across to Oak Park, Broadview, Bellwood, Maywood, so all the way out there. And then it goes down like through Chinatown, Bridgeport, the Sox Stadium is in there, and Marquette Park, where I'm from. So it's like a big L like this. This is what it looks like. So it has the most affluent part of Chicago, and it also has the most poverty part of Chicago with low income, and that, unfortunately, they have been redlined historically.
You said Bridgeview, yes?
Bridgeview, no. Broadview.
Broadview, sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon. Broadview. And that's where the ICE center is. Oh, okay, so when you win, you just go in there and shut it down, right?
I'm just going to try up my hardest because there's got to be loopholes. I mean, I don't understand why people are like, they're going to entice you into a civil war. It's like, guys, I feel like we're already here.
We're in it.
Yeah, like if they're using the federal government to kill citizens, that is the president levying war on the United States. You can literally impeach him for that. It's in our Constitution.
Yeah, but you gotta, and that's where I get frustrated. I understand like the peacefully protesting, but it's getting to a point now where you're going out there being peaceful, and it's still like, you're getting beat over the head and like shot. And we know the real history when things got changed, how it got changed. So I'm like, what are we gonna do about that? And like, what do you with the ICE of it all? Like, what is the plan there? I'm sure you have a plan because you are a very planned person. I am. Read it all up.
And it's like I do see Congress making moves where they're trying to like use the law. The law is slow, unfortunately. And I don't think our founders ever expected for this to happen, that we would hire basically the one thing they made a revolution for. But this, when you talk about the civil rights, what caused that pain a lot for the establishment to make the change was the boycotting. They lost so much money from that. And also the other thing was the image. So back then, the United States was viewed as like, you know, peaceful and all of that. So when you saw these peaceful protesters being attacked, it did enrage the country. At this point, though, I'm like, we have to use every single thing in our arsenal. We have to use the courts. We have to use peaceful protesting. We have to use boycotting. And like, people are like, we can't afford to boycott. And I understand that, but like, there's also other resources we can provide so that you can do that. Like SNAP. And I know that people are like, oh, SNAP's being attacked. I read that policy. Guess what? There's loopholes. You can be exempt from just having anxiety. And I would argue everyone has anxiety because of ICE. So you could save you don't have to do the work requirement for that. And then also nonprofit hospitals like Northwestern and Rush. If you make less, as a family household, if you make less than $159,000 a year, you actually get 80% of your healthcare covered. Like that's preventative care, x-rays, major surgeries. And if you are an individual and you make less than $93,000, you would also get 80% of that covered. Like there are loopholes we can use, but like why are Congress members telling you? Because they're calling donors, they're not doing their job.
And if everybody knew the loopholes, they'd all be using it,
Yeah.
and it'd all be better and healthy.
Yeah.
And we can't have that.
And so that, I mean, I want to do even more research on like the ways to fight ICE, but those are the things that I'm like thinking of, because there's so much ways that we can help people. And again, I never ran for office before, but because of my HR experience, I'm like, I know policies, that's what I write for a living. So let me go through these. There's always going to be an exemption. People put little, like they slide little earmarks in there. I'm like, let's go. Whoever put that exemption in, yeah, that's awesome.
That's what we need more, because I feel like the Republicans, they know all the loopholes.
Yes.
And they know how to like circumvent things and kind of get past everything that you need to do. So it's like, oh, we need to do that. And I feel like on the other side, there's a bit more organization.
Yeah.
They're a bit more focused at what they're going at, where I feel like on this side of things, everybody's kind of scattered to different degrees of what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
it's designed like that too, because those PACs, those lobbies, those special interest groups, they donate to both sides. They want them to fight, because if they're fighting each other, that means we're not fighting them. And that's where it's like, we need to stop thinking about we have to fight Republicans or we have to fight Democrats. We just have to fight the oligarchy. That's all. That should be everyone's focus. And even you see Republicans are like, I voted for Trump 3 times. I was wrong. Cool. Let's fight the oligarchy. Let's vote for people who are going to ban PACs and lobbyists.
Okay. Well, as you're talking about, and you just gave it up, you can clap for that. As you're telling me that, you know, they're both working for, you know,
Yeah.
I believe the same thing. I'm like, there's somebody that's pulling, it's like, what's his name? Dr. Claw from fucking Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yeah.
In the Claw, he's like pulling the strings and doing all the work back there. So what sort of like tea you got there? I'm gonna go into my Wendy Williams bag. What else you gonna dish for us today?
Well, okay, so here's a great example about why endorsements don't matter. Let's talk about the Tribune, right? They made an endorsement. They endorsed Dr. Fisher. He's an ER doctor. And, you know, I met him, seemed nice, okay. Like, yeah, he seems like every single candidate I met, they seem cool, they seem nice. But again, you need to judge people based on their actions, not what they tell you. So in order to get the endorsement from the Tribune, you have to submit a questionnaire. And even reading those questionnaires, I was like, these feel like guided questions to like hurting like people's benefits and stuff and cutting benefits. And I was like, this feels sus. Like, I don't love this. So then you know me, I like to do research. I like to dig in. And I was like, who owns the Tribune? It's actually a financial firm it's a hedge fund that owns the Tribune. And their co-owner actually gave $100,000 to a PAC to re-elect Trump. So
They would have it.
Yeah, so they've been bought. I even asked them, they actually asked me to come in for an interview. I knew they weren't going to endorse me. There's no way. Yeah. But I was like, I'll go anywhere. I'm not scared to go anywhere and speak to anybody. Like, I'll go on Fox News and I'll be like, let's talk about it, friends.
Good, and you should. I mean, boo them, but you should, because you seem like one of the people who actually know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're trying to meet them somewhere to be like, hey, this is to help everybody.
Exactly.
We all need this. But then, I get scared. We talked about this earlier. Anybody who ever tried to bring people together, they get very like...
They get so pissed about it. And it's like, guys, like, fighting doesn't work. We know this because this is where we're at with fighting. So why don't we just like take a beat and be like, where do we agree? We agree on banning PACs and lobbyists? All right, let's go. That literally can be your litmus test for any candidate. We go in there and do a discharge petition, which makes you force a vote onto the House and say, we're going to ban all PACs and lobbyists, and we're going to publicly funded elections. If a candidate cannot say that, they've been blocked, don't vote for them. That's literally the only litmus test. You want to go even harder than that? Fine. You can say the HEAL Act. You can send them my website, be like, will you support this? Will you do a discharge petition for this? If they say no, don't vote for them. That's what we can do. That's our litmus test. Every single progressive out there, do it. See what they say.
Hold their feet to the fire.
Honestly, like, I'm so done with this bullshit. So let me show you, and then, I went on a tangent on there, but let me talk to you about the Tribune. Hold on, because I have to get these names right. I don't want to mess up the names. Okay, so they endorsed Dr. Thomas Fisher. We know the Tribune has been bought, right? And I was reading through their endorsement because I was like, okay, so you've been bought, like, what's going on? And in their, like, readout of him, they said that he is, it says, we see such well-known Chicago names as Martin Nesbitt, co-CEO of private equity firm Vistra Group, and former Commerce Secretary Bill Daley on his list of donors. Okay. And I was like, who's Martin Nesbitt? Never heard of him. And then I was like, well, let me look up Vistra Group. That's what he's the co-CEO of. Mm-hmm. Vistra Group, they buy like elderly homes, like senior citizen homes.
Yeah.
And they buy other like homes that take care of people with severe disability. And what they do is they buy these homes, these services, right? And they cut the staff. So when they cut the staff, they're not allowed, they're so spread out so thin that they actually can't provide the medical services they should be providing. So you're telling me that, and they have a lawsuit against them because there was a wrongful death case in Illinois, because they have them all over they buy this all over the nation. So you're telling me a doctor is taking money from a person that uses his business and chooses profits over people. Tell me what makes sense there.
Well, they're counting the cents and the dollars.
So it's like, and I was like, once I read that, I was like, oh, Dr. Fisher, you are a corporate Democrat, Dr. Fisher could be like, well, I didn't know. I find that hard to believe. If you didn't do your research and your due diligence enough not to know that, and now that you do know, maybe return the money and then maybe say you're going to go through all of your finances to see if you align with any of these people. Because again, you owe these donors favors, right?
Accountability.
Thank you.
Yeah, because as you say that, I know that's the thing. Like, I feel like these rich people, these billionaires, they look at us as just numbers.
Yeah.
We're no longer humans.
Exactly.
We are just data and things to mine and take shit from. So I'm like, how do we stop it? But you have a good plan. I believe in you. I hope it goes well. I hate that the corruption and just like the bullshit is like, you have so many hurdles because, as a regular human, you're like, oh, you just put your name in a race and, get some votes.
No.
And it's like,
and do you want to know why we'll never see an independent on our ballots?
Why?
So in order to get on the ballot, you have to collect a certain number of signatures from registered voters that live in your district. It is a percentage of people who voted. And for Republicans and Democrats, it's 0.05%. So for a Democrat to get on the ballot for my district, you had to collect 1,164 signatures. But you have to collect 3 times that amount because you'll get challenged. I did get challenged by Melissa Conyers Irvin. I beat that challenge, obviously, because I collected 3,069 signatures, the most of the other grassroots candidates, the other progressive candidates. So that's how many signatures I had to collect. And a Republican, it's less, right? It's 234, I believe. And
So you should just run Republican.
well, for an independent to run, they have to collect at minimum 10,000 signatures. And if you have to collect 3 times that amount, it's 30,000 signatures. Guess who created that? It was our Illinois General Assembly. So that's our state House of Representatives and our state senators. They created that system to continue the 2-party system, to continue the corruption in Congress.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like, guys, this is really bad. I knew politics was corrupt, but at this level, I was like, oh, this is why we don't have representation.
Yeah, I mean, I have an idea, especially with like the Epstein of it all and like the Clintons being pulled in and everything that's kind of trickling down. And I hate that it goes back to the parasocialness of it.
Yeah.
So where people are like, well, what are you gonna do when they find Democrats on this? Like, get them off.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. If they're on that list and they committed those atrocities, they need to go to jail.
Under the jail.
That's it. It's just that simple.
Which has now become a hot take.
Why? It's just like, and this is the parasocial, right? Where it's like, I'm gonna stand by this person no matter how many red flags I see. If you continue to do this, don't expect change. Don't expect your life to get any better. Don't expect reform. Because it starts with you. Change starts with you. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to say, I can't vote for this person even if I like them. I know that's hard, but none of these people are our friends. They are people we're hiring to do a job. We need to start hiring people who have the qualifications. It's true.
Yeah, they work for us. Treat them as such. Be a nice way. Don't treat them bad like that.
Like, let's not do violence or anything.
Give me my water, damn it.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
So.
Well, damn, Jazmin, that felt like a perfect little bow right there at the end. There, I mean, I don't have. Do you have anything else that you would like to put out there or let anybody know? Or?
Well, I do comedy for fun. Like that's how I'm a Second City Bob Curry alum. Shout out BC 10. I'm
wow,
a
10?
Yes,
I did
BC 10.
BC 3, and I'm like, whoa.
And I'm also was on Annoyance House team. Dr. Mister, love you guys. But now I'm on the first ever all BIPOC team at IO Theater. That's where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did grew and developed their comedic skills. And we perform, we're called Dare Dropouts. We perform every Saturday at 9:30, so you can come check that out. But also, more importantly, please register and vote. The election day is March 17th. So it's St. Patrick's Day. You can vote early if you want to, so you can go get blasted on St. Patrick's Day. But please register, vote, and if you don't know who to vote for, just send them an email and be like, will you support the HEAL Act, yes or no? It's just that simple. If they try to say it's impossible, they're lying.
Oh, okay. Yes, I like that because normally, okay, I know I said we was going to wrap it up, but there we go. Because normally people use Girl, I Guess.
Yes. Oh my God. You want to talk about this? You want to talk about this, Steve?
I mean, I feel like we kind of have to say something about it.
So Girl, I Guess, I used it too.
See, I use it, but I also like read it and then do the research.
That's key. That is key. And so Girl, I Guess, I was like, hey, I'd like to get your endorsement if possible. And the criticism I got back was like, well, you only have one policy and it's the HEAL Act. I was like, yeah, it's a root cause policy. You're never going to get any of the other things that you want if you don't do this. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm like, okay, what are your credentials now? Because now I'm confused why you don't see the vision here. And even Ro Khan, he's a Congress representative from California. Mm-hmm. He's like, we need a new deal. We need the FDR New Deal. That's the HEAL Act. The HEAL Act is the New Deal 2.0, y'all. How do you not see that? And so they gave me that criticism. And they also have like a huge litmus test of like, if Gaza is genocide, like if you can't say that, if you're not fighting against that, we're not going to endorse you. So I was like, I have an FAQ page on my website, so I have everything there. Like the HEAL Act is my long-term strategy, but I have short-term strategies too. I'm not dumb. I know it's going to take a long time. Anyway, so
And it has your favorite book on there too. I did look at that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything by David Sedaris on. Okay, so anyway, so I interviewed with them, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, so what they did, this is the tea, guys. I interviewed with them. I thought it went well. And then they released their endorsement for the 7th district and they endorsed another candidate. And I was like, okay. And the feedback they had for me was that I'm a single issue policy, the HEAL Act. I don't have grassroots support. And it's like, yeah, this is the first time I'm running. So yeah, I haven't been campaigning like every other person in this race for years. And that grassroots supports, you see, again, the donors buy volunteers and canvassers to show grassroots support. It's bought. It's not natural. It's not organic. So that was my criticism back to them. And then they said I couldn't see beyond the HEAL Act. Okay, this is where I'm gonna get really annoyed. Maybe you guys didn't see that NAACP forum that I went to where I literally talked about how I would actually bring federal money into our district from the government. Everyone's like, we'll bring federal money in. How? Well, this is how I'll do it, through grants. There are $1 trillion in grants. I would hire a grant director and coordinator to help nonprofits get grant money because the only ones that can do it right now are the grants that are heavily, heavily, heavily financed by like the affluent. So all these grant monies going back to the affluent versus going to the places that it needs to be. Not only that, but every Congress representative gets community funding projects. So I can bring 20 million back into our districts to invest in replacing lead pipes, into our schools. And I had unbundling contracts. Right now the government gives one contract to a monopoly, Elon Musk. What we can do is we can we can unbundle those contracts and give it to small businesses, which will create jobs. And it was like, I am the only candidate, and you can read it. It's in the Wednesday Journal at Oak Park or the Austin Weekly. They give you the questions that they asked. I was the only candidate on that stage that gave actual concrete answers versus vibes and slogans. I did my research and I showed it. So that's where I'm like, I can see past the HEAL Act because I know the HEAL Act is long-term. I need to help people now.
Yes.
And I'm the only candidate that did that. Now they had the litmus test with Gaza, right? So these progressive candidates, on their website, they're like, Gaza is genocide, we need to stop it. And on their social medias, on their platforms, on their Instagram, they say it with like their whole chest, right? They wear a little pin that says like, free Palestine, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So the Jewish United Fund, it's a huge lobbyist group. It's a huge, it's representative of the Jewish community. They sent out a questionnaire to all of us. And these were far and difficult questions, but they were also amazing questions about foreign policy. And they asked about Israel. They asked you, will you support additional aid to Israel? And I completed that questionnaire and I was like, no, this is genocide. According to the UN, it's genocide. And all the candidates were invited to a temple to do a forum. And I was the only candidate that didn't code switch in front of the Jewish population. I was like, look, and I said it, and I was very nervous because I've already been told that I'm being anti-Semitic by saying that what's happening in Gaza is genocide. So I was like pretty nervous because I didn't know what to expect to the reaction of it, but they asked us to define Zionism. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I was like, according to the UN, what's happening in Gaza is genocide. And I know I probably lost votes in that room. I know people probably hated me, but like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to code switch. That's not the type of person I am, and that won't be the type of candidate I am. And so I say all this because the person they endorsed didn't complete the JUF questionnaire, and they didn't go to the forum. What that tells me is you're brave enough to say things with people that agree with you, but you're scared to go into those communities where they're going to disagree with you. I'm not scared of that.
Hell yeah.
And then the other progressive that was there, code switch, didn't say genocide. Says genocide everywhere else, but didn't say it there. And that's where I'm like, y'all are fake. I stand on business.
You stand on 10 toes with that shit too. Heck yeah. Jazmin, I appreciate that. Guys, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Now that I know you're looking for a grant person, hit me up because that's a lot of money. I could move some money around for you.
Oh my gosh, for nonprofits, y'all, I literally, when I started doing the math, I can bring like 234 million back into our district.
Damn.
A year.
Damn.
A year, y'all. Like, we got to stop playing with these phony politics. We got to really start hiring people who are qualified. And for Girl, I guess, they don't do their research, in my opinion, because if you couldn't figure that all out by like the news articles that came out about our campaign and just like getting into the research of it, you're not qualified to make a judgment call then. And look, I appreciate what they're trying to do. I really do. And some people are like, oh, you're just mad because they didn't endorse you. And the endorsement's pending, friends, so maybe one day. But also, like, you know what? If they feel that they can criticize other people, then they should be able to take criticism back.
Girl, I guess indeed.
Thank you.
Folks, make some noise for Jazmin Robinson.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Folks, this has been Guerrilla Press. I'm EJ Cameron. Nick Hasman will be back. Send your well wishes. If you enjoyed this, tell your friends, share it. And if you didn't, send us to your enemies. Good night.